Hello everyone, welcome to the CTV News on Calabash TV and on the Wave Radio Net 4.5. I am Lisa Joseph. Former Communications, Works and Transport Minister Guy Joseph has placed the government of the St. Lucia Labour Party on notice that he is prepared to go the distance to halt the plans for the increase in vehicle license fees. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. Kenny Anthony, during the presentation of the 2015-2016 budget, announced increases to the fees as a means of revenue for government in providing good quality roads. The fees now range from $250 to $750, depending on weight and classification of the vehicles. Dr. Anthony reminded the House that license fees for vehicles were reintroduced back in 2009 during the tenure of Guy Joseph. Prior to 2009, the former Labour administration, he said, had abolished such fees in favor of a special levy on fuel prices. Guy Joseph has argued that their introduction in 2009 was a necessary move to regulate the system and only applicable for smaller capacity vehicles. The former minister said it was found that a number of these small capacity vehicles did not have insurances, and in cases where people had two vehicles, they would pay for the insurance of one vehicle and keep the license sticker on the other. Mr. Joseph has described the new fee structure as crazy, noting that it will cause hardship not only for the traveling public, but those working in the production sector.
I say to this government, and by extension to the people of St. Lucia, that as the opposition, as part of the opposition, I'm not going to sit by anymore and allow this government to continue to take advantage over the people of St. Lucia. I, Mr. Speaker, will stand and do what I have to do along with the people to see to it that this government does not proceed with implementing this increased license fee and this fuel surcharge. And Mr. Speaker, we are going to start a campaign, an orange campaign again, to stop this government from imposing further hardships on the people of St. Lucia. Because, Mr. Speaker, it is not right that a government who had the trust of the people of St. Lucia can bring itself so low to exploit the people to the extent that they have done in this country by trying to reduce all of us to abject poverty.
Mr. Joseph also criticized the government for its failure to open the new St. Jude's Hospital, pointing out that the administration has been announcing its reopening since 2012.
The construction of the new National Hospital commenced in July of 2009 and is scheduled to be completed in December 2012. An allocation of $32.46 million has been included in this year's budget for completion. Now, Mr. Speaker, that was 2012. What year are we in now, Mr. Speaker? 2015. But it gets better, Mr. Speaker. That's why I tell you, these are just words on these papers. The persons to implement these words don't exist, Mr. Speaker. They don't exist. Mr. Speaker, I am anxious for the nightmare of the people of the South to end. I pray that, as promised, all major works will be completed by when? August 31st, 2012, to facilitate the testing and commissioning prior to the relocation of St. Jude's from the George Odlum Stadium. Now, Mr. Speaker, 2012. What year are we in? 2015. And another August is coming. And you know what, Mr. Speaker? The people still at the George Odlum Stadium, and the hospital is still not completed. Now, Mr. Speaker, if the previous government did not do it well, it takes you so many years when you gave a finishing date to finish it, and you tell me you're good managers, you can manage. What can you manage? Now, you know, Mr. Speaker, what is so interesting about this is all the years before they gave a completion time. You know what was said in this budget? It is anticipated. After giving the people so many false dates, Mr. Speaker, they now anticipate. You managing, you anticipating, make it happen. That is what you wanted the United Workers' Party to do when we were in government. Make it happen. A minister said this January is the last January. I don't know which January. Because to me, January is past already, Mr. Speaker. So apparently they said this January, but they never said which year, Mr. Speaker. So it could be 2020 January. I don't know. Because when you have people who are clueless running a country,